Okay, let's get ready to rock the house. We're gonna have fun. One, two, three. Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Great show, great guests. Nothing's changed. But check this out. We're gonna go. Today's show's gonna be really cool. Matter of fact, I was just like, just roll the cameras. After the pre-interview, after maybe 3 to 4 questions, I was like, you know what? Forget this. Let's just go organic. Let's go live. Let's tell a story the way I think it should be told. Because I think everybody that comes on the show has a very unique beast mindset on how they came in and out and basically just took the bull by the horns and said, you know what? I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to change my way of thinking. I'm going to change the way others look at me. I'm going to do something different to shake not only myself, but to shake the world. Today, a young man is definitely doing that. 26 years old, the road from Mississippi to Georgia, from not having a father, from dropping out of school, and along that trail, meeting individuals along that path to help him change his trajectory for the better. I know because I know how he got to my show, and I know the guy that introduced him, so I know he's in the right direction. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show. Let me get his name. Beautiful name too. Let me get it right. Syrus Dumas. Did I get it right?
Yes, sir.
Let's start there first. That's a very unique name. How did the name come about? Is that a generational name? Were you named after somebody in your family?
No, sir. I was named of my mom's. She saw somebody on the game show named Cyrus, but it was spelled different.
She told you that?
Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful name. Cyrus, you're 26 years old. So you might ask yourself, do you really have a story? I think you do have a story. You got life's situations from the age of birth to 26 years old. Tell the viewers a little bit about you before we get into your story.
Um. Well, appreciate you for the introduction. My name is Syrus Dumas. I'm originally from Columbus, Mississippi. Uh, I was raised in Birmingham, Alabama. I played football or played football all of my life. Football changed my life, saved my life. I grew up with a single parent home, two brothers. I lost a brother, I lost a sister. Um, and yeah, I just football. God gave me a gift to play football and use football to help, and that's what I've always done.
You said you lost two siblings. How did you lose two siblings? How old were you when that happened?
Um, well, my mom was she was like she was like brutally, you know, taken advantage of when she was about like 15, and then she had my brother, and then she was just like it just didn't go good with the birth, and then so she lost him, and then after she had my oldest brother, she tried they tried her and my brother's dad at the time, because we got different dads. They tried to have another baby, and it just didn't go right as well. But it was and my oldest brother, almost didn't make it, just like from complications and stuff like that too. And I just, so yeah, that's how we lost my brother, and my sister.
My deepest sympathy for that. That had to be pretty heartbreaking for you to grow up and knowing that you had lost two siblings, but then on the top of that, knowing what your mom had to go through during that particular moment of her life. Did you have to step up and be almost like the man of the house because you say you didn't have your father there?
Really, I like my mom. My mom was a teacher, and she did the best she can. I got the best mom ever. Like I got the best mom ever. But it's just like it really wasn't no man of the house, you know. It wasn't no father figure. It's like she tried her best. She did what she could, but it was just three boys, you know. So it was just we kind of just did our own thing, and it wasn't much accountability. Like we loved each other, we love each other, but it wasn't much accountability, you know, because
Hmm.
we didn't really know nothing about it. So we all just kind of did our own thing.
Now, did you know your father?
No, sir.
Did you ever talk to your mom about who your father is, or it was just a topic that never really surfaced as you got older?
I always wanted a relationship with my dad. You know, we talked over the phone a few times, um, but it was nothing really ever. You know, it was nothing really ever for real like that that came from it. You know, and that really affected me. And but as I got older, I just started to realize like, and I started to have my own children. Like even in it, little before I started to have children, like that it's everybody got a story, you know,
Hmm.
and he didn't have his dad in his life, so it's like I understand from a standpoint of not having, like, how can you be something that you don't like and that you don't know how to be, you know, and you don't have nobody teaching you, showing you. And so I reached out and we talk a little bit more now,
Hmm.
you know, but you know, I forgive him though, for sure.
So, Cyrus, you this is strange because your mom was a school teacher. I would think by your mom being a school teacher that you mentioned the accountability, but it seems also that you guys had a role to play because your mom is an educator. But you said you guys were being boys. You know what I mean? You doing whatever you had to do and blah blah blah. I know that's eyesight ahead of time where you look and go, wow, you know what? You're probably right. I should have acted a certain way. But you mentioned to earlier that you was really bad in school and you was doing crazy stuff that led you to basically get tired of school. I won't say drop out because when people say drop out, I said people leave school for a whole bunch of reasons. I don't like using the word drop out. You left because of, let's just say, family factors, environmental factors, emotional factors. Tell the viewers a little bit about that and what led you to actually quit school.
Um, I quit school. All right, so it started in ninth grade. Um, I I was talented in football, so that was like my mom's whole reason of moving us to a better school system. She put us in Homewood City schools, right? And when she did that, it was just different for me. It was a different environment. I didn't know how to adjust. You know, it was a culture shock for sure. And it just what like I didn't really like school. I was an angry kid, so I didn't like being around people. The only thing I wanted to do was play football. Like that's all I really wanted to do. And outside of that, like I said, like my mom, she did everything she could, right? But it just wasn't enough, a lot of accountability, right? Outside of the house, like she would be at work, and I would be doing no telling what I'd be doing.
Mm.
And I just ended up mixing, like, I wouldn't say with the wrong people because, like, to be honest, I was kind of one of the main culprits, but we was just doing stuff that we shouldn't have been doing,
When,
and it started to catch up with me, and I just didn't stop. Like I just didn't stop. So my freshman year, I get in trouble for a gun. My friend's mom was about to kill him, and he brought his gun to school. He took the gun from her, and he just was like, bro, my mom's finna shoot me, da da da. Can you help me? So we were like, yeah, we can help you. Like, so we just put the gun in my locker, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, Fast forward, like he gets the gun back. He gets the gun back, but then he stopped showing up to school. And then fast forward February, like of the next semester, because this was like in the fall, I ended up getting in trouble for a gun. They thought it was in the school. I guess the parent was looking for the gun and she couldn't find it, and I don't know. So they thought I had the gun in the school. They thought I had it in my possession. So they shut down school. I get in trouble for that. I go to alternative school. I get kicked out of alternative school for weed. Then my mom moves me back home to Columbus, Mississippi, in my 10th grade year.
Hold on a minute, Syrus. Hold on a second. Let's go back a minute. The guy with the gun was your friend, but you gave the gun back to him, and months passed later. What was it? What did he do that made them go back and look for the gun with you if months and months had passed? That the school had to shake you down?
Because he said, I mean, I don't know what happened with the gun. Like, I don't know if he didn't take the gun back to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he did with the gun, but they said that he told his mom that he gave me the gun, and I had the gun.
But they never found the gun even after shaking you down in your locker and so forth. They never found the gun.
They never found the gun.
So then your mom decided she wanted to take you back to Mississippi, correct?
No, they put me in alternative school.
How long were you in alternative? What is alternative school? Because alternative schools are different depending on what state that you're in.
Alternative school is when you get in trouble and then you have to it's like basically like school probation.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to pass alternative school to go back into the regular school.
You said something about a culture shock. Are you talking about a culture shock from Mississippi to Georgia?
No, I'm talking about from Mississippi and where we were, like when we first moved to Mississippi. I mean, from when we first moved to Alabama from Mississippi, what happened was my mom didn't know where we were, so we were kind of still in the same environment.
Okay,
we
I
were
get
in
you.
Mississippi. And then as we kind of got accustomed to the city, she realized that, oh, I can put my kids in a better situation.
Okay.
And then that's what she did. That's what I mean by culture shock.
So moving forward, you wind up. They don't find the gun. You're now going into the let's go back a little bit more. Let's go deeper here. I hear a lot of the conflicts that you're dealing with. How was you able to? Did you put football on hold? Like football had to be your medicine. Did you make time for your medicine as you were still trying to figure out with your mom which way you need to go?
No, sir. When I went through stuff, it wasn't like we didn't have no trainers. I didn't really know about hitting the field. I lifted weights. Um, I did what I knew, what I thought I should be doing, right? But
Mm.
and I think that was the problem. Like I didn't know how to express that. So it was just always I'm at school or I'm getting in trouble. Football season, I'm never in trouble.
When
But
did you
school,
go
I'm
ahead?
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But like outside of that, like my freshman year, I didn't get in trouble. Like I would get in small trouble, because I was just a class clown. I was a trouble kid, like. But it wasn't nothing big to the point where they take football away from me.
Mm.
And I made sure that, but it's like I feel like once you start getting in trouble, it kind of just like if you don't have that right guidance, that right accountability, then you're just gonna always find yourself in the same situations or the same scenarios.
When did the scenario change for you? Because we'll move forward in a minute, but I'm gonna put all this together so the viewers can see your mindset. You're 26 years old. You like football, but you don't have the guidance. Your mom's trying to do the best she can. You have brothers and sisters. You don't have a role model. You're not in a good environment. The same patterns are repeated over and over again. You quit school. When you quit school, what did you do? You know, you quit. Did you sit down with yourself and say, I need to figure this shit out? What was that process like for you?
No, no, sir. I got in more trouble.
Wow. And what was that?
I kept robbery, drugs, and then I ended up going to jail.
As a juvenile.
Nah, as an adult, 18.
So now you're an adult. Things ain't the same no more.
Right.
When you're sitting in that cell and you're facing what's robbery, 15, armed, life,
Yeah, it was 40.
40 years. Now you have to do some thinking. Take me down that road. What's that like?
Well, when I first got in trouble, I was before it all like transpired to be what it was. I was 17 when we did it. That was the only thing that saved me. And my so what happened was we pulled a robbery. It, it was dumb. Uh, and we ended up getting in trouble. My friends ended up getting caught. Well, one of them ended up getting caught. I don't want to talk to like he just ended up getting caught, and then me and my other friend we kind of like went I would say went on the run for a little bit.
Okay.
And in that time, like the first couple months, I was still getting in trouble, like, and then I just kind of just felt like people were watching me, like somebody was watching me, and I really don't know, like I honestly don't know what made me say like I can't live like this no more. But what happened was I just went on a run, like something just hit me, and I was just like, bro, I can't live like this no more. And then I just struck out running. I went running. I ran like 3 miles. Like I just went running,
Mm.
and I got back in the. I was a young kid. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like, bro, I'm finna figure it out. I'm about to play football. Like I can't live like this. I'm about to play football. So I just start running. Like I don't really know what to do. I start running. I get a job because I'm not in school. I'm kicked out of school. It's my senior year. I didn't do a day of my senior year. Uh, I get a job at TCBY, and then I just start running every day. I'm like, I'm just gonna start running. And then my brother was boxing at the time. I would wake, I would help him, and I would wake up at 5 in the morning, and we would go box. So, like we would go to the boxing gym, we'd work out, right? And then I would just start normally. I would just start working out. Like I just started working out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was going good. I had a tryout at MCC. It was like right after it's crazy how God worked, right? So they were on they were on Netflix, right? Last Chance U, MCC. That was the first school on Last Chance U. The Netflix series. They long story short, I went there, tried out. They offered me a spot to come play. But that morning before I got there, the they basically issued a warrant for my arrest. My mom was walking out of the door and they was about to kick it in.
Wow.
Like, and my mom called me and she said, "Yeah, the police just came and they have a warrant for your arrest. I want you to go do your tryout, and I want you to go." She told me, "I want you to go do your tryout, but when you come back, we got to go turn you in."
So you
And then
did
I was like,
did you do the tryout?
"I did, and I made it." And they offered me, and I told them that I had to go turn myself in, so I couldn't take the offer.
Let me go back a minute. Let me go back a minute. You committed armed robbery. You're 17 or 16 years old. How old were the guys that was? How old were the other guys, roughly?
We were all the same age.
Who was the mastermind? Was it you?
It was me.
So you decided to do the robbery.
Yes, sir.
Were you concerned about? I don't even think you're concerned at that age because I guess as you started to come conscious, realizing what you had done was going to eventually come back and haunt you or bite you in the ass. Were you worried about the people that did it with you? If they got caught, they was going to eventually point the finger at you?
Um, no, no, sir, I don't. Uh, I didn't think they were gonna point the finger at me, and they didn't point the finger at me. And we all three have changed our lives to this day
How did you wind up getting? How did the police wind up finding you then?
because we had another friend that we thought I was our friend,
Yeah.
and they picked him up thinking he was me, and he said it was me.
So now you really got to. It's sad. It's really sad because you got an opportunity on Last Chance You, the Netflix series. I watched that. Beautiful story. You made the team. Now you got to turn yourself in. That had to be heart drenching for you to do
Yeah,
that. To know that eventually you may not be seeing your mom, your siblings, or anybody, or you lost that opportunity. What was that like for you?
it was devastating. Like it was, it was devastating. It was a good tryout, and it was just at that time, like you said, when you're so young, you're not even thinking about life and family and future. Like I literally, all I could think about was, will I play ball again? Like that's all I thought about as a kid. Like sitting in that cell, like I was just like, dang, like will I ever get to play football again? Like that was my opportunity.
Did you think about leaving? You're already running, so to speak. Your mom tells you got to turn yourself in. Did you turn yourself in because you was tired of having somebody watching you, like you said, or did you do it because your love of your mom and you knew that it would have been heartbreaking for a mom? Or did you do it for both reasons? Said, you know what, I'm tired. Give me whatever you got to give me. Let me start my life all over again.
No, I strictly did it for my mom. Like
What did your
my
mom
mom,
say when it was time to turn yourself in? You guys drive down there. What would your mom? What was that long talk like for you and your mom?
we didn't talk. It wasn't much, you know. We just held hands the whole time. We just held hands the whole time, and that's why I say like, it wasn't no man of the house. Like she didn't know what to say. You know, at the end of the day, I was just her baby son. She was just finna, her baby son was finna go turn himself in. So we just held hands, and then when we got there, we walked up, and she just told me she got me. And I told her I got her.
What was that process like when you walked through the doors and say, hey, you didn't. Now you do have the right to remain silent. So far, you did the crime, but you don't really know what you're walking into. Somebody told blah blah blah. You're still 17. No, you're probably 16 at the time. Maybe six. Am I right? 16 or now you're not 17 yet. 16, right?
17.
17. You go in there. What do they tell you? Like, what's that process for you? Because now you're getting no. You're 17. You're still considered a juvenile, correct?
Yeah, I was 17. I was 17 when it all started happening. But when I was, but when I went to turn myself in, I was 18.
Oh, so now you're in the big boys.
Yeah, I went on the run for 9 months.
When did your life start to change? You did. How many years did you do?
I didn't do any years.
Really? What happened?
What happened? I'm glad you asked that. So, what happened was like beautiful. So like I said, uh, when I did it, I was 17. I went on the run for 9 months. In those 9 months, I got right. Well, I got in trouble, and then I started playing football, and then I did the tryout. the day of the tryout, all that happened. So when I meet my appointed lawyer, we didn't have money for like a paid lawyer. When I meet my appointed lawyer, she was like, I was like, I can't go to jail. I play football. Like, I can't go to jail. Like, I can't go to prison. And she was like, you don't play football? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, yes, I do. I was like, I just did a trial. You could call the school. You could do whatever. On the, I just get to explain it. And she was like, I think I can save you.
Wow.
And, you know, uh, I did like 40 days. I sat in jail like 40 days. I made bond. Uh, the judge gave me a bond. Her name is Judge Petro. Thank you to Judge Petro and Miss Grody, Miss Ariana Grody. Um, she gave me a bond after hearing all the stories. And long story short, when my last trial day, well, like my not trial day, didn't go to trial. My last day to court, um, Judge Petro actually gave me my youthful offender. So, because when I did it, I was 17, and then she saw the change I had made before I went and turned myself in, and then with a whole bunch of letters from like people that I knew and coaches,
Mm-hmm.
she told me like she ended up giving me a second chance at life, and she told me even if I spat on the sidewalk, she was gonna send me to prison. So
You didn't spit on those sidewalks, did you?
I didn't spit.
That is a great story. Great story. And the fact that even being on the run, your quest you knew was through football. So let's go back a little bit. Okay, so you sit in locker for 40 days, but the last chance you was still going on. Whatever happened with that? What evolved from that part?
Um, well, it's just so crazy how God works, Mr. Andre, because a few I mean I have to you ask okay, what happened with the last chance you? That's why that's so like, powerful. Because a few years later I ended up going to Independence Community College, who also was on Last Chance U.
What? Did they remember you?
They didn't know me. So what happened was I was playing it when I got out of jail. I said I wanted to play football, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I joined the prep school. Um, I joined the prep school. Coach Richard Richardson was the coach at the time. I reached out to him, and he was like, "Yeah, meet me at the park. I'll work you out if I like it." So he liked it, right? And I started playing, and I started back playing, and that was like my first year back playing. And then the following year, I did another year of prep, right? But I went a little too fast. That year, I had an offer from UAB. I ended up getting an offer from UAB off of like a walk on, from a walk on camp, right? Like it was something like that, like a mega camp.
Right.
They ended up offering me like a walk on. So, but I didn't have the grades, right? So because it wasn't like a real prep team, like you thinking like IMG or something like that. It was just like most people play 1 year and then you go work.
Right.
So I ended up. Coach Richardson ends up starting his own team the next year, and then I play for that team. Uh, Both teams we won the championship. We were good, but then after that, we just kind of like I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I had a close friend. Shout out to my guy. His name is Will Sparks. He was at Independence. He was in Kansas already.
Right.
He had a friend named Barry Womack. Shout out Barry. And Barry put him on, and then both of them were They were in Kansas. So he hit me up and was like, "Oh man," he hit me up and was like, "Dog, I got an opportunity for you. But the thing is, you got to drive to Kansas tomorrow."
Wow.
And I'm like, "All right, bro. Like, what is it?" And then he sends me the flyer, and then I see it's the school that was on Last Chance U. And I'm like, "Oh my God, like, is this real?" And so, yeah, it was indie. Like it was ICC, right? So, man, I didn't have nothing at the time. And to be like transparent, I had just had my first son, and my their mother was pregnant with our second son. She was 2 months pregnant with our second son.
Right.
We were living in a small apartment. It was me, her, one of my friends, one of my close friends that was on the case with me when we were young, him and his girlfriend.
Right.
And yeah, we didn't have nothing, man. Like I didn't have a job. Like I didn't have nothing. Like so I just asked around, I called around, I told everybody, I was like, y'all, I need help. I just started asking for help. Nobody could get me a ride. Like I couldn't get a ride. People gave me a couple dollars here and there. Um, so Will ends up calling his friend in Montgomery, right? Montgomery and Birmingham are like 2.5 hours, 3 hours away. So once he calls his friend, he tells his friend what's going on. I've never met this guy. His name is Will. His name is Will. Also, I never met Will, the other Will, right? But he's like, man, he told Sparky, that's what we call him. He said, bro, if you care about him this much and you feel like he's that good, then I'm gonna bring him.
Wow.
He said, all I need is $120 for to fill up my truck. So I scoop up the $120. He drives from Montgomery to Birmingham, picks me up. I give him the $120. All I had at the time was a basket with like 3 pair of shoes and a trash bag, like with some shirts and some pants, right? So we hit the road. It's a 12-hour drive. The tryout is at it's about 7. It's about 8. It's at about 8. We get to Kansas at about 6:40. We sleep in the car. We sleep in the car for like an hour. We go out on the field. I try out, and let me just tell you, who's like Tank Dell at the Texans was there. Kamal Hadden for the he plays with Green Bay right now. Khalif Hallisey, who plays with the Browns right now. The former Big Harry, he was with the Vikings, who's with the DC Defenders right now. And it was many more names was on this one particular team,
Wow.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up winning the conference that year. We were loaded, like we were loaded. Like it's so many guys still playing football right now to this day. Um, but so I end up making it. I have a good trial. I end up making it. I tell the coach, Coach Harris, shout out Coach Harris, man. Coach Harris changed my life forever, man. I love him to death, man. Shout out to you, Coach Harris. I told him, I said, Coach, I don't have anything. If I go back to Birmingham, I probably won't come back. Like I probably won't be able to come back. And then he said, well, just stay. And I didn't go home. And then from there,
The universe is crazy. God is good.
all the time.
Man, you've been blessed and anointed with so many blessings, and through the trials, through the pain and suffering, still only 26 years old, got a great future ahead of you. Let's go back before we close out the show. And first of all, thank you so much for coming on, sharing such a great show, great story.
Thank you for having me.
But let's go back a minute. Let's tap a little deeper before we close out. This started with no guidance. No, you had guidance. You had your mom. No accountabilities among yourselves. Trying to open doors for your father, which you did. But like you said, how can he be a father if he never had one? So now let's move forward. You got $150. A guy who never knew you traveled to pick you up, put you in the car. You leave your son and another one on the way, your baby's mom, and you come back smelling like roses. What difference do you plan to, what what do you plan to do differently now at 26 after reviewing everything that you went through to be what you didn't have and what you longed for was accountability in that father, in that family structure?
The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna continue to stack days. Like I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. I'm gonna continue to keep loving on my kids, keep working on the situation with me and their mom, better myself. Um, that's what I just feels like that like that'll handle it all, right? Just if I fix me, if I keep working on me, then I'm gonna be the best parent for them. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't be a good parent if I'm not good inside, if I'm not okay inside. So it's just there. There's like we've been through a lot, and I feel like they know that is they like I feel like my kids know that like they're smart enough to understand that, but I also understand like they're young and that we can change the trajectory.
I like the way you said that. Before we wrap up, what's your end game for you? NFL, coaching? I know you said something about women football. Tell me about that real quick. What's the end game for you? And tell me about this women football, especially defensive backs.
So um, my end game is I want to develop defensive backs like NFL, college. Like I want to coach. I do want to coach. I want to be more than just a trainer, but I want to be it all though. Like I just want to be a high level DB coach, like DB mentor. Like that's just what I want to do. Um, uh, Usually, like probably a few. Like when I get older, well, when I get wiser, um, I want DC for sure. But as of now, I'm just trying to. My biggest goal is to develop young DBs and put a light on women's football.
Why the light on women football? Why that?
I love women's football. I
Okay.
love women's football, Miss Andre. I don't know how it happened, but I love women's football.
Okay. So maybe be a head coach of the women's football league, maybe one of the teams.
Owner,
Owner. Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
owner.
So let me go. Let me ask another question. Who's your favorite defensive back and why?
My favorite defensive back is Jair Alexander
Why?
because like I just feel like man his game is so similar. Like it's unorthodox. Like you you can't really coach it. You can just only tweak it, right? I mean,
Right.
you can coach it, but you just like it's not really like changing it. Like I feel like a lot of when you get a player, I feel like a lot of people kind of like is this guy a press guy? Is this guy a zone guy? Is he good on the run? Like you know, but like Jair, he's got that unorthodox game. Like he always playing in the bail. You don't know if he in a palms read, two read, man situation. He's good with disguising coverages, and like that's just how I am. Like I didn't really start getting coached till late, so it's like how I felt about the game was just different. Like it was just all a mind thing to me. Like so it's just once I really started to learn 2 to 1 and down the distance and where I'm at on the field, it's just like I don't know, it's just unorthodox, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just different.
So what do you think your chances are we're reaching the NFL?
I think my chances are what I make them to be.
I like the way you
So
said that.
so it's like I know I can play football. Um, uh, I know I can play football. I know I could have opportunities to play football, but honestly, if I'm just being honest, like I think my passion is people. Like I think my passion is where like I feel most whole like helping and developing and game planning and showing people the correct way how to play and like giving like especially like the women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's my first year, and it's my first year coaching women's, and it's their first year organization, right? And a lot of them like they've been playing for a long time, but they haven't been like taught like the proper way. They haven't you know how football is. You gain life experiences, like
Right.
football teaches you life. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to grow in the game. They haven't been nurtured in the game, right? They haven't been like nurtured in the game, so they ain't been able to grow in the game, mentally and physically. So I feel like that's the same thing as a high school student, right? That doesn't have a staff that takes it serious, right? If you're not nurtured in the game, you're not going to grow in it, right? You're not going to get those life lessons. You're not going to get that mental and physical. You're not going to meet. You're not going to reach your mental and physical potential, right? So that's just what I fell in love with, just helping them realize like y'all already like naturally like the group that I have, they're insane. Like I can't even I watch them all the time and I tell them like y'all are insane. Like it's crazy how they play. Like we just played a game yesterday. We lost a close one. Like the DBs ball, right? And it's just like it's insane to watch, man. It's feeling.
Now, what's the name of the team? What's the name? What's the name of the women team that you affiliated with?
We are the Atlanta Truth.
And what's your record? What's your record?
Okay, we are 2-2. We are 2-2 each. It's this it's everything is crazy. Everything is crazy.
Okay, we're gonna have to have some of them players on the team that set that up. Cause I never, you're right, and they need exposure. I never really paid women football no attention. To be honest.
It's some good football.
You
It's
know
some
what?
good.
Let's have them back. Let's have them on the show. When we get done with this show, we're gonna set that up and have them on the show and stuff. Before we wrap up, how can the viewers reach out to you, know more about women's football, and more importantly, understand and support your journey? How can they reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on Instagram at LOE Stitch STITXH, love over everything Stitch.
You know what? Syrus, thank you so much for taking time to come on the show. We're definitely going to have you come back on with the women's football team, talk a little bit more, bring some awareness to them and exactly what you're talking about, making player development, not only for the men, but player development for the women that also love this game of football. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another, and I do mean another, exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton show. Cut. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's do the trailer. So I'm going to say on this episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton show, it's all about football. And then as soon as I say it's all about football, then you come in and say, hi, this is Syrus, last name Dumas. On this episode, join me as I take you from a troubled youth to miracles to my football career to helping player development as it comes to women football. Something like that, just something real quick. And then I close it out.
Okay.
All righty, ready? Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I believe you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. On the next episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton show, it's all about football.
How you doing? It's Syrus Dumas. I'm here on the Andre the Beast show, and we're about to this not live, right?
Yeah, we're going to cut this out. Let's do it again. You're fine. Okay, 1.
What do I need to hold on? How do I need to start it?
Hi, I'm Syrus Dumas. On this episode, join me as I talk to you about being a troubled youth, trying to find my place in this world and my passion for football. Just something like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. On the next episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton show, it's all about football.
How you doing? Join me, Syrus Dumas, as we talk about my troubled youth, my career in football, and my passion for developing women's football.
That and more on the next Andre the Beast Crayton show. Cut. That's it. Okay, big guy. Great show. We're going to have this up by Tuesday. This will be up by Tuesday. We'll send you the links. I'm going to send you our new schedule format. It'll be somewhat the same, but we won't be using LinkedIn, Zoom anymore. So I will send you the new questionnaire. Um, Fill it out, and let's bring some of those women on with you talking about what they do, their importance. Just pick out a few women. We can do multiple Zooms and put them on there, and let's talk about bringing some attention to Atlanta football and what you're doing. This will open up doors for you. The more exposure you get, the more people are going to recognize what you're doing. Cool?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cause if you don't mind me telling you, like, um, our goal is, man, we want to get a facility. Like, we're trying to get a facility built for our girls, man. They really love football, man.
Let's get it done. That's what we're talking about. So, uh, we got one more show we can do. So, you got my direct number, the 317 number. I'll text you tomorrow, Monday. Let's put together a show for the girls, and let's talk about building a facility for the women.
Let's do it. Thank you
Cool?
so much.
All right, buddy. Hey, I'm really proud of you. Whatever you need, pick up the phone and call me, okay?
Thank you so much. So thank you so much.
No, thank you, big guy. Keep strong. Take care of your kids. If you ever need anything, give me a call. Let's work on this Monday, okay?
God bless.
Okay, bye-bye.